Hi there, my name's Luke and I'm the Digital Product Manager at Visit Victoria. Our team manages and quality assures all of the Victorian ATDW product listings, and we also operate a support desk for businesses and events who use the ATDW. The purpose of this tutorial is to provide you with some tips and advice to help you get the most value from your ATDW listing. Whether you're an accommodation owner, a tour operator, or an event organiser, hopefully you'll take away something useful from this video. Topics we'll cover today include how to write a good description for your product, guidelines around images and video, how to integrate your social media activity with your listing, providing detail about your product's accessibility, and some other useful tools such as cloning a listing. Here are some tips to keep in mind when writing your product listing description. Always use the same name, address, and phone number for your business or event across all marketing material. So this is your website, your ATDW listing, your booking system, and your social media. This ensures search engines like Google correctly index your product. Your product name, key points, and highlights information should be positioned at the beginning of the description. Always include your product name in the first sentence. This is important for search engine optimization and brand recognition. Provide a hook that will grab the reader's attention and entice them to read more. Progress into further detail throughout the description by providing additional information about activities and services provided at the product or destination. Conclude the description with how to get their information and any other useful tips. Place keywords throughout your description that your target audience will most likely use when using search engines. People are time poor and will skim websites, so be clear and concise, keeping your sentences short and sticking to one idea per paragraph. Your listing will most likely be viewed on a mobile device. Some things to avoid when you're writing your description. This will also speed up the time it takes for your listing to be approved and published. Don't include contact details, links, or pricing in your description. There are dedicated fields elsewhere in your listing for this information. Abbreviations and symbols should be avoided as much as possible. Abbreviations should not include full stops between the letters. Names, regions, or specific places and room types should be capitalized. Everything else should remain lowercase. Make sure you spell out numbers from 1 to 9 as words and use numerals for numbers 10 or above. Refer to your product in the third person. Remember that your listing is appearing on someone else's website and not your own, so this ensures that an objective point of view is always conveyed to readers. Consider that your listing may be seen by an international audience. Keep your tone authentically Australian, but try not to include colloquialisms or slang, as some of your audience may not be familiar with these phrases. Here is an example of a description for an accommodation property where they have started off with mentioning their business name and their unique attributes. Immediately, this has grabbed my attention and I want to read more. They then go into detail about their facilities and services before concluding with some supporting information. Moving on to images. Images are essential to attracting the attention of prospective customers. It's important to have large, beautiful photos of your product to ensure that you give your audience the best impression. The minimum image size for the ATDW platform is 2048 by 1536 pixels. This standard is set to allow your image to look its best when it's expanded to a full screen on websites. Most smartphones and digital cameras can take photos and videos with great quality. Make sure the resolution is set to its highest and that your environment has good lighting. Don't try and stretch your images prior to uploading, as the resolution will be too low and the image will appear blurry. If you have had professional images taken of your product, ask for a copy of them in their highest resolution. Upload landscape orientation only. Portrait images will be cropped when they're uploaded, and important content may be cut off. The same goes for logos or text. These aren't accepted on images for ATDW. These might be cropped and could appear poorly on distributor websites. Put your most captivating image first, as this will appear next to your competitors, so you want it to stand out. Show a variety of indoor and outdoor shots and include people so your audience can get an idea of what they will experience. Keep your images current to suit the seasons. Images can be updated as often as you like. You can save time by uploading up to 10 images at once to the platform. Select images from your computer and then you can drag them into the orange dotted image upload window. Include alt text on each image. So this is a brief and accurate description of the image. If you need any support with uploading images, you can always contact our ATDW support team. I'll provide our contact details at the end of the video. Some tips for taking a great image. Great lighting. Brightness gives depth and variance to the scene, so pick a day that is bright to capture the scene. Shoot from the corner. This shows space and dimension. This is especially applicable to accommodation providers who are taking photos of their rooms. Take exterior photos. This helps visitors to imagine what your business looks and feels like. And clean the scene. Declutter the area that you wish to photograph. Make sure that you highlight your unique points of difference. You can include videos in your ATDW listing. It's a great way for the audience to see the body language and view and hear the experience of your customers. Feature people experiencing the product so that viewers can get an idea of what they can expect. Current smartphones can take video of adequate quality. Keep your videos short to under 60 seconds, and you'll need to have them uploaded to YouTube or Vimeo, and then you can copy and paste the link into your ATDW listing. You can easily direct your audience to your social channels by pasting the links of your official social pages into your listing. Here's an example of an ATDW listing that is displaying on visitvictoria.com, and the operator has entered links to their Instagram, TripAdvisor, Twitter, and Facebook pages. You can also include a link to your business's YouTube channel if you have one. Ensure that you are active on the social media channels that you have linked to in your listing. Visitors don't want to see a social page that hasn't been updated in a few years. Only include your business accounts and not your personal ones. And when you're posting content on your own social channels, be sure to include the hashtags Visit Victoria and Visit Melbourne, as well as those used in your region. Encourage your customers to do the same. If you're using ATDW to promote events of a similar nature, for example, a music event that's touring regional towns, or perhaps events as part of a larger festival like the Melbourne Food and Wine Festival, you can use the clone tool to duplicate a listing. This is available from the listings dashboard or via the cog icon on the listing edit screen. Any listing can be cloned, whether it's live or expired or it's a draft listing. All fields within the listing will be cloned, including your images and videos, and this will be placed as a draft in your dashboard. You can then edit the fields relevant to that event, such as tweaking the photos or the description, and then when you're happy with your cloned listing, be sure to send it for review so that it can be published. When you have filled in your listing and you send it for a review, you may encounter a message like the one above on the left, telling you that there are some fields that you need to address before your listing can be submitted. All listing categories require at a minimum a name and description of your product, an address, at least one point of contact, at least one image, and your product's accessibility status. If you're not sure where to find the remaining mandatory fields that you're being asked to complete, you can click on the red status bar at the top of the page and then click on the mentioned field. Or look for the fields with an asterisk next to them on the orange navigation menu on the left-hand side. Once you've actioned the remaining mandatory fields, the status bar will turn orange and you'll be able to send your listing for review. It's worth filling in any remaining optional fields too, to give your audience as much detail as possible about your product. If your product can be instantly booked, in that a financial transaction can be made and the customer receives instant booking confirmation, you can provide a link to your preferred booking system in the booking URL field. If you've registered an ATDW account with your business address, but your actual product has a different address, you can click on Define Another Address within the Location section and enter a different address. Even if your product address is the same as your organisation, it's still worth re-entering this address on this page to ensure that your product is mapped correctly using the Google Maps integration. Wi-Fi is considered a standard inclusion by travellers these days, but it's worth specifying this in your listing if you do offer it. You can also list your product's facilities. New analysis by local government New South Wales estimated that inclusive tourism market in Australia was worth up to $8.9 billion over the first 3 months of 2017. And it highlights the expected growth of the sector as our population ages and more people experience some level of disability. ATDW have recently made an enhancement to the accessibility field within the platform, which now captures more detailed information about a product's accessible features and services to share with the inclusive tourism market. Accessibility is now a mandatory field to address for all listing categories. So operators will need to select one of the above responses on the left. Operators who select the first response, they'll be able to provide further optional information about their accessible facilities and services under the fields on the right-hand side of the screen. So these cover general access, communication, vision, hearing, physical, and allergies and intolerances. For operators who have disabled access available but choose not to supply this detail within their ATDW listing, they do have the option to provide a link to an access and inclusion statement on their own website. An access and inclusion statement is a description of what your business or event does to be inclusive. For more information on how to develop an access and inclusion plan, there are some resources at the website on the screen. So hopefully now you've received some useful advice about getting the most from your ATDW listing, and you might like to go and make some updates to it. Updating your listing is a very simple process. This can be done as often as you like. Once you're logged into the ATDW-ONLINE platform with your username and password, click on Update next to the listing that you'd like to edit. Once you have made all of your changes, be sure to click Send for Review to have your updates reviewed and published. Updates generally take 1 to 2 business days to be reviewed by our team, and you'll receive an email to confirm when your updates have been approved. Some tips for navigating the ATDW-ONLINE platform. If you've forgotten your password, you can easily reset it by clicking on the Forgot Password link at the login page. From there, you'll be asked to enter your email address, and a temporary password will be sent to your email. You'll need to click on the link within the email itself to set up a new password. If you manage more than one listing, you can use the Sort and View tools on the listing dashboard to sort your listings in the order that you want. When you're updating a listing, rather than moving through each field, you can utilize the Summary button to get an overview of all of your content. That way you can go straight to the module that you'd like to edit. If you have multiple users that will be managing your listing, you can give them individual access by registering them as additional users. This can be done by clicking on the Account tab. If you're unsure how to fill out your listing, you can use the guidance copy to help you. And finally, we would recommend adding the email address on the screen to your address book to ensure that you don't miss out on any important communications regarding your listing that may be blocked by your email spam filter. Additional resources can be found on the ATDW page on Visit Victoria's corporate website or at atdw.com.au. As always, you can contact Visit Victoria's ATDW support team for questions or for more information about ATDW. We're available via phone and email, Monday to Friday at 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Thanks for watching.